2014 Zone President, Zone 5 JCI India, 2011, 2012 and 2014 JCI Training Commissioner for the Asia. As an officer, he joined JCI quota as a member. 2004 as a treasurer, 2006 as a secretary, 2008 president and inducted 16 new members and posted able. 2009 elected as Zone Vice President of Zone 5. 2010 Outstanding Trainer of Zone 5 and JCI India. 2011 JCI Training Commissioner of Asia Pacific Region. 2012 JCI Training Commissioner of Asia Pacific Region. 2014 JCI Training Commissioner of Asia Pacific Region. 2013 Orientation Brigadier of Zone 5. 2015 JCI India Most Outstanding National Director Training. 2017 Member JCI India Skill Development Committee. 2018 to 2020 Member JCI India International Projects Licensing Committee. As a trainer in 2015, qualified as a zone trainer of JCI India. In 2007, he qualified as a national trainer of JCI India. In 2008, certified national trainer at JCI World Congress, New Delhi. 2009, international graduate IG. 2010, first JCI certified ITF trainer in North India of JCI India and the fifth JCI India and 125th in JCI. Yeah. He served as a faculty member for 3 years in the Asian Academy hosted organized by JCI Singapore. He has conducted trainings in 46 countries as a trainer. A few are Japan, Germany, France, Belgium, Singapore, Taiwan, Philippines, Hong Kong, Macau, Maldives, Bangladesh, Malaysia, Indonesia, Dubai, Ghana, Kenya, Nepal, Thailand, Botswana, South Africa, Qatar, Sri Lanka, Mongolia, and Nigeria. Yogesh sir has logged more than 3,500 hours of training to more than 2,000 people in 46 countries and more than 85 nationalities since 2005, with more than 2,000 hours of training in overseas countries. He was conferred with the JCI Senator in 2011 with rank 70620. He has conducted the JCI official and recommended courses for more than 100 times across the globe. Yogesh sir is the executive committee member of Kota District Badminton Association. As a professional, Yogesh sir has had degree holder. Aside from JCI, Yogesh has conducted many programs for corporates and government departments. He is the only trainer to be selected to officially conduct the JCI Impact and JCI Impact Trainer course for the very first time in the 2020-2012 JCI World Congress in Taipei in Taiwan. He has attended 6 JCI World Congress, 5 JCI Asia Pacific conferences, 11 JCI India National Convention, and 13 JCI India Zone 5 Zone Conference. He learned to read and speak almost 13 languages. He is happily married to Kiran and blessed with 2 daughters, Komal and Urvashi. So let me invite Mr. Yogesh Chandrak sir onto the session. Thank you very much for giving the opportunity.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Jesse Rafi. Now I request our Chief Guest, JC PPP Jyotish Sridhar garu to inaugurate the session once. Madam Jyotish Sridhar ma'am. Jyotish Sridhar ma'am. Hello. Sir, as already Madam addressed, so let us proceed with the session because it's already
No problem.
so we can 2
As you
minutes
said.
late according to our schedule. We can proceed, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Okay. Thank you very much, Madam President. So, this is a trio of JCI VMV, JCI Vishakha Valley, JCI Vishakha Metro, and JCI Vishakha variants. Am I right? And The
Yes, sir.
presidents, Sindura, Uday Bhaskar Akula, and I forgot the third name. I could not hear the third name.
Venkat, sir.
Venkat. Thank you so much, dear presidents, all the three of you. Chief guest of this today's session of this talk, IPZP, and my training team of 2015 in Zone 4, Zone Director Training of 2015 and IPZP, current IPZP, Jyoti, Zone Director Business Ranjit Bhai. Many familiar faces. I can see Harsha Reddy from Tirupati, and the very popular group of Vishakhapatnam, the Bawaz group. I can see one of the founder members of the Bawaz group, Jeevan Padala, in a very colorful glares he's wearing, and he's in his car, I think, not not in his house or office. So Jeevan bhai, thank you for being here. We have few participants from Nepal as well. Welcome to JCI India. So it was a very short notice, what to do and what not to do. Well, I have prepared something based on my past experience of last 6 months and dealing with COVID-19 in a very critical manner in last 3 months. So I have prepared something based on my experiences, which I've seen in the business scenario, seen in my profession, seen with people dealing with various service sectors, industry, manufacturing industry, and traders as well. So based on that, I just designed this course after Sindhura called me day before yesterday. So it's just a working of hardly one and a half days. And based on that, I have prepared one presentation and a short synopsis of what we can do and what we cannot do in this COVID-19 challenging. So let me share the screen and then we start. Any one of you can unmute so that I can ask sometimes if, because I cannot hear you. So if something is not visible, somebody can tell me. Is it visible? Hello?
Yes, sir. Visible. Yes, sir. Okay.
So let us begin. So economy was not already good. It was going on in a very sluggish manner in entire globe because of many reasons. You all know the reasons. So economy was not already good in the entire world, and same was happening with India. And somehow this COVID-19 coronavirus, novel coronavirus came, and we all were locked down. We were locked down inside our homes, not to come out, not to go to our offices, not to go to our business places, not to go to our shops, and not to go to our factories, manufacturing units. So the whole world was at a standstill, and still today it's not entirely operational. So what I say is, our body was locked down inside our houses, but our brain was not locked down. So we could have used our brain, and we should use our brains to really come out of this situation and transform yourself from being a fragile person to an agile person. And in times of crisis, this is the most relevant thing to come out of it, being fragile to agile. And that's why I named this training, small training, as fragile to agile. I'll just share the contents, what I'm trying to cover, just a short brief. And then in the end, we can have a Q&A session. So you can ask questions to me if any questions you have. So the first, the contents which I have designed are the challenges which we are facing in this COVID-19. And then post COVID-19, we'll be talking about the VUCA world. I'll share what is this VUCA world with you, and you will be very glad to learn something new. Even I learned reading something last few months about this new thing, which is really inspiring and a good learning for all of us. We will understand these emotions related to change. Then we'll understand the Kubler-Ross change curve. I'll try to give you a short plan of action, what to do, how to do, where to do, what to do, and when to do. And then how to nurture our business based on the government machinery, the government schemes which have come up, and how we can move ahead with what all we can do in this sector of post COVID-19 situation, because already we are into unlock 1, and from 1st of July it will be Unlock 2.0. So it's now the lockdowns will be ending on 30th of June, and Unlock has already started, and Unlock 2.0 will start on 1st of July. So more than hand sanitizers, this country needs brain sanitizers, because in fact our body was locked down and we even locked down our brains. So our brain also needs to be sanitized, and that's why a lot of things happened, a lot of webinars happened. And though I have stopped doing webinars because of the various challenges we face in the webinars, but still, because of your great love and affection of Zone 4, I had to say yes, and I could not deny. So I am here with all of you. So let me first share this video with all of you. Have a look. COVID-19, the new all of us, and that's what this video teaches us, that we are a new us. So let us understand the challenges. We are running into economic and financial losses. Everyone has bared the losses because 2 months was completely locked down, and now a gradual shift has been done, but still business is facing challenges. Sales are not picking up, and so are the other things. So a huge loss has been incurred by the economy and all of us. Illiteracy in digital skills, that has been a challenge. We are a little bit illiterate, but many of us are still illiterate in digital skills. Work from home has become a challenge. Low credit offtake from the banking sector. Liquidity crunch in the market because it's only expenditure, no income. Fixed cost of business is a big challenge now because you have to anyhow meet it, even though you are not earning anything. Fixed cost of business is there. Interest burden, though we have the moratorium period, but still interest will not be paid now, but after 6 months we will have to pay the interest because that is being charged by the bank. It's not been waived off, and still, so that interest burden is part of the fixed cost. More NPA slippages in banks, though moratorium period they will not be declaring the accounts as non-performing assets, but post September, when we will not be able to repay the banking loans, we had made borrowings, that will be more NPA slippages, and that will be a big challenge for the banking industry. Maintenance of properties like hotels, resorts, which are totally shut down and still not working, though other businesses are open, but these businesses are not allowed to be open. So tourism sector is hampered for the most, and maybe for the next 1 year at least or more. Hotels have not opened up, people are not traveling, just for some emergency people are traveling. Even the travel industry, airline industry, hotel industry, tourism industry, everything has been totally shut down. I just day before yesterday, I was talking to my friend, JCI friend from Maldives. Even they are facing, because Maldives is totally dependent on tourism, and the country is locked down since then, and there's no tourist in Maldives, and total income of the country of Maldives is on tourism, because they import everything. They don't have anything growing or making anything, any industry over there except tourism. So that is the biggest challenge for countries like Maldives, and even many places in India which are mostly dependent on tourism sector. Shortage of medicines are there, but still that's the challenge part. But still the better part is people have grown healthy these days, because most of the big pharmaceutical companies, they have seen a decline of sales of medicines by almost 50 to 70%, and life-saving drugs have declined onto the ratio of 80%. Now that is a big change which we have to take it positively, that people were more healthy, eating home cooked food, eating home filtered water, and breathing fresh air. So that was the positive part, though we had challenge of business. Food and essential commodities were available, but still there was some shortage due to lockdown. Further challenges are export and import oriented industry. Though gradually they have started, but they were at total standstill and bear a huge loss. A drastic fall in GDP shall be coming once this quarter ends on 30th of June, and the per capita income in India will be going down very steeply. There's sluggish industrial growth, low consumption, or rather very low, or rather sometimes was there that there was no consumption of petroleum products, which made this price increase. And it is today is the 20th day regularly that petrol and diesel prices have been increasing. Infra projects on standstill, which has made us a little back on the infrastructure part. Even post COVID-19, you may be having people that you may be opening up your offices, you may be opening up your business establishments, your factories or manufacturing units, but employees may not turn out even post lockdown, because out of fear, or maybe because out of that containment zone, people may not be allowed to move out of their homes. So that is the biggest challenge. Automobile sector, which contributes majorly, almost 38% to the economy of the country, GDP of the country, is in deep trouble. Labor cost, because of that movement of laborers which happened from all parts of India to UP and Bihar, is going to be a big challenge, and labor cost is going to increase. And once they go back to their homes, they don't come back at least in 6 months. So these migrant laborers and their taboos will definitely increase our labor cost. Service sector shall be badly hurt, because it's totally dependent. If there are more businesses there, the service sector provides more services, and the more it earns. So indirectly, service sector shall be the most badly hurt. Traditional way of doing business shall vanish, like training. Training is now on webinars. But now I see a challenge. I was just talking to your zone president, Rajita, just 15 minutes ago, that JCI India is also going to face challenge, because people are more inclined to do just webinars, because they don't have to be so active while attending the training. Only the trainer speaks, and you can just log in and show to the world that I am there. But maybe you are not be physically or mentally present, you just logged in. So JCI India is going to face this challenge in the coming months and in next year for the participation in actual physical trainings, and because it has changed. Even marketing, digital marketing is coming up. So marketing may be replaced by digital marketing. And if we go into more deep and just brushing up with things, there are many more challenges if we go into more depth. So life is change, and growth is optional. You can see a caterpillar gets himself into a cocoon, and gradually that metamorphosis happens, and it gets transformed into a beautiful butterfly. So life is change, but growth is optional. Not everyone grows. Now this is the transition phase, which is called as, in biological world, it is called as the metamorphosis phase. And this transition phase is always very filthy, very bad, and that is what is happening. But maybe post COVID-19, there may be good things may be coming up. So growth is optional. You must have read the book by John Spencer, Who Moved My Cheese? It talks about rats getting a big store of cheese to eat. And when they get big store of cheese, many of the rats stop moving, that we have enough to eat for our entire life. And then they gradually get fat, and they keep on sitting there only. But a few mice, few rats keep on moving here and there in search of more and more food. So they be healthy, keep on moving. So growth is optional. Those who are sitting there and eating, well, the cheese started getting stale, and those rats started getting unhealthy, and literally they died. But those who were kept on moving, they remained healthy. They searched on for new fresh food, kept on eating the new fresh food, and kept on moving. And that is why it is that growth is optional. So, a very wonderful book by John Spencer. It's a very good book. You should read. Who Moved My Cheese? Most of you must have read it, but still I'm sharing with you. So we need to understand this change process. So all of us are change agents. So what are the qualities which we need in this change process as a change agent, as a leader? We should be realistic. We should face the world in a realistic manner. We should not be highly optimistic or highly pessimistic, but practical utility and practical applicability of the situations. And that is how what is called as the realistic scenario of understanding things. We should be very effective communicator. See, communication is something which is beyond sharing information. We have to learn that information is something else and communication is something else. The challenge with we all using social media platforms like WhatsApp, Facebook, WeChat, and many other, Twitter, and many other social media, Instagram. We think that we are communicating. I'm sorry to say this, my friends, but that is not communication. That is only information sharing. Communication is you share your information to somebody who wants you to share, listen to you, and he understands it, and he reciprocates, he gives response to you. And that is what is called as effective communication. But you disseminate an information on a WhatsApp group or a broadcast list, people may or may not read it. So that is just information, and information is not communication. You have to be an attentive or active listener. The more you listen, the more you understand, and the more you can take action based on your listenings. You have to be a person with ideas. Something new should come up, something innovative should come up, something out of the box should come up. So you should always be a person with ideas. Various options should be available with you. You should be a good collaborator. You should be able to collaborate with people in all sectors, maybe social cause, community development, business development, networking. So business networking, you have to be a good collaborator. A change agent has to be restless. He cannot be resting. He cannot say that I need to take rest, I am tired. He should keep on moving. He should keep on doing new things every day, every now and then. Business says you have to improve daily. If you don't improve daily, you are decaying yourself. So that's the quality of a change agent. And then the most important is he should be eager for improvements. You should be always be eager for improvements, if any, even though you have developed a very good product or a very good service, but still there's always a scope for improvement. So that's what I call this metamorphosis, the change of process from a larva caterpillar to a beautiful butterfly. We are billions of caterpillars forced into our cocoons, being called on to change from the inside out, to metamorphosize, to rest and reflect and sprout wings for ourselves. So that change must happen from inside out. You must always remember the ande ka funda, the egg story, the egg theory. If an egg is broken from inside out, a new life begins. But if an egg is broken from outside, the life ends. So to begin a new life, you have to come inside out. Nobody can motivate anyone. You can only inspire people. Motivation is always coming inside out. So we get inspired. So we need to now understand this post-COVID-19, the VUCA world. Now, what is this VUCA world? VUCA stands for volatility, uncertainty, complexity, ambiguity. So how did this terminology VUCA come? Now, VUCA was used by the US Army when they attacked Iraq and they captured Afghanistan, and literally still they are there. So they used this VUCA theory in Afghanistan, the US Army, because a lot of volatility was there, a lot of uncertainty was there, a complex system was there, a complex living environment was there in Iraq and Afghanistan, and there was an ambiguity what to do and what not to do. So we can learn from this VUCA theory used by the US Army in Afghanistan, called as the VUCA world for post-COVID-19. So let us look into a little more detail of what is VUCA: volatility, uncertainty, complexity, ambiguity. Volatility refers to the speed, volume, nature, magnitude of a phenomenon which may not be in a pattern, but it increases the complexity of things. It goes ups and downs, it goes here and there, left and right. You are not in control of situations, in circumstances. So that is what is volatility. Your things are always out of your control, always mattering to you, always bothering you, always troubling you. Uncertainty. It occurs when there's no concrete pattern, because you don't know what kind of pattern this coronavirus is taking. It makes us difficult to establish. Sometimes you don't have new patients coming out, and sometimes there are so many patients coming out, more than 100. So it makes us difficult to establish what will happen and what will not happen, what decisions you can take, whether you can travel or not travel, whether you can go to that part of your city or not. So this is a lot of uncertainty. What will happen tomorrow, we don't know. What will happen today evening, that also we don't know. So it's a lot of uncertainties there. Complexity, it describes the amount of different states a system can get into a certain point of time. The more the states of a system can get, the higher its complexity, because we need to understand the complex environment which is building up. We need to understand what is happening and what is not happening. We need to understand how to move about it. We need to understand the rules. We need to, if you want to travel outside the state, you have to follow some other protocols. If you want to travel within the state, you have to follow other protocols. If you have to do certain kind of businesses, you have to follow the protocols of the Government of India guidelines based on the SOPs which they are releasing for all types of businesses. So a lot of complex system has developed, and we have to follow all these complexities. A lot of ambiguity is there. Multiple interpretations permitted equally. This makes us hard to decide what to do in order to achieve a desired outcome. So we are not clear in our thoughts. We are not clear in our actions, because there is an ambiguity, situation of ambiguity prevailing over here, and therefore we cannot take a certain action. So this is what is called as the VUCA world: the volatility, uncertainty, complexity, ambiguity, which was faced by US Army in Afghanistan, which we are facing now post COVID-19. So when life is throwing curveballs at you, now I am asking these questions to all of you. You can definitely answer it in the chat box. I will be viewing it in the chat box. What choice can I make that can change the situation? I'm asking all of you. You can write in the chat box. What choice can I make that can change the situation? Very difficult to really assess and really understand. Stay home. You're already doing that. More marketing. How? Stay safe. Fine. You're already doing that. Staying home, staying safe. So it's all related to business. What choice can I make that can change the situation of my business? I am doing offline physical business, selling goods from my shop. How can I do online marketing? Networking. Okay, let's move to the next question. What can I do differently that might lead to a different result? Then, what can I do differently? Update yourself, upgrade yourself, networking. But are we really doing networking? That's a pathetic situation. We have locked down ourselves with the body and soul inside our house. but we have locked down our brains as well. People are not using their brains. People are still, we all Indians are very good crisis managers, I'm telling you. We always wait for the last date to arrive to do the certain tasks which have been assigned to us. We always ask, what is the last date? We never ask, what is the due date? Make supply according to demand. Don't waste more money connecting people, create demand. Well, big terms, but are we really able to create that demand? You can just note down these questions and ask yourself, because life is throwing curveballs at you. Now let us understand this situation. Things that matter to you and things you can control. These both circles are interconnected. But what you have to focus is the situation between both the things that matter and things that you can control. That is what we should focus on. Like I give you example of COVID-19 itself. The cases, the positive cases coming up every day in the entire world and even in India, in our country, matters to us. But can we control them? So we have to analyze these situations in this way. Can we control them? So we have to understand these two circles. I can't control, I can control. I can't control other people's words, actions, attitudes, feelings, mistakes, body language, reactions, behavior, ideas, thoughts. But I can control all these words if they are applied on myself, if they are applied on me as a person. So I can control my words, actions, behavior, attitude, effort, decision, body language, ideas, reactions, feelings, and thoughts. We have to understand in this way what I can control and what I can't control. So we need to understand these two circles, the situations which matter to you and things you can control. Which matter to you, you have no control or in control. And in between there lies the influencing area, which is called as the circle of influence. Now, if you are in control of situations, then you become a leader. But if you are not in control of situations, you become a victim of the circumstance or the situation. And that is where life gives you a bad face, when you become a victim of situations. We young active citizens, JCI members, should take charge of the situation, should take charge of the circumstance, because we are people who are deemed as leaders. So we need to be leaders. So how to control a situation? How to control a situation? Because things you can control are your internal actions, and things you can't control are happening outside you. These are all external things. So you have to frame questions to yourself in terms of things you can control. Move the center of control of your focus from external areas to internal areas. So that is what it's rightly said, change begins from me. The first step towards change is change yourself. And what we do is just the opposite of that. We try to change other people, other people's behavior, other people's words, other people's thoughts, other people's action, but we don't change ourselves. But that is what was said by Mahatma Gandhi. Change begins from me. So we need to first change ourselves if we really want to make control of things. Now look at this change competition which happened. These are real life images which I clicked from Mumbai, the city of Mumbai, a few years ago. So what does Jet, because now Jet Airways is not in function, but see what advertisement was there. We have changed. Find out what else has changed at jetairways.com. Now that was one of the hoarding. Now look at it. Just above that hoarding, Kingfisher Airlines, which was functioning in those years, what they mentioned. We made them change. Fly Kingfisher and experience the finest service in the sky. And that's true. They really made this airline industry a service-oriented industry with quality service, quality food, and all beautiful air hostesses and what not in the Kingfisher Airlines. Though unfortunately they have closed now. They have shut down. Both these airlines are no more in extinction. Not even Jet Airways and not even Kingfisher Airlines. So, but what advertisement they are there? We made them change. But it does not stop here. Look at the next thing. Go Air is there. We have not changed. We are still the smartest way to fly. Look at it. Look at it. We have not changed, but still they are flying. They are still surviving. They have not given up. And it does not stop here as well. One of the sectors which is not even competitors to this airline industry, what it has mentioned, अब बस करो वरना प्लेन होर्डिंग से crash हो जाएगा. You please stop. Don't keep on putting hoardings up and above that, because the Bombay Electric Suburban Transport BST, Best Services, issued in public interest by Best, that you cannot keep on hoardings, otherwise the planes will crash into these hoardings. So ab bus karo means you use buses. So buses are the most uh, authentic way of getting transported. That is what Best did the advertisement. So this is how change competition happened. And we have changed, we made that change, we did not change, we will never change. That's what Indian Railways says, and bus says, ab bus karo. So this is what was happening, and true pictures are there. So we have to identify our emotions with respect to the change ahead. We need to understand what will happen with this change. And the few things which happen is like this post-traumatic stress. Trauma is if something happens to us, maybe unfortunately you met an accident, that accidental situation is called as a traumatic situation. And you have to bear the post-traumatic stress. Now that is what has happened in this COVID-19 challenge. We are now facing the post-traumatic stress. We are still having the fear. Maybe somebody in our neighborhood has come out positive. Maybe some families have turned out positive. We have an anxiety. What will happen next? What is going to happen tomorrow? We never know. We are regretting, oh, I should have done that. I should have done this. I should have spoken about that. So we are now in a situation of regret also. We are also feeling sorrow. We are feeling sorrow for what we did wrong to others, what we did wrong to ourselves, what we did wrong to our businesses, what we did wrong. Maybe that sorrow is coming into us, and a bit of anger is also there. So all these emotions are coming up with you yourself inside you, and this all leads to what is called as frustration. We are sitting inside our houses, we are locked down, we are facing these emotions, and these emotions bring us and lead to what is called as frustration. So for this post-traumatic growth of yourself as a person, as an individual, as an entrepreneur, what can I do to make the change work for me? Now again, a question for you. If you, I would like you to please share some thoughts about this question as well before we move on to the next slide. What can I do to make the change work for me? You can write down in your chat box. Observe what is happening around and see what can be done. That is a very generalized. See, let us be very, very specific, because you see, we need to be very specific with our businesses. We need to be very specific with what line of action we need to do. These are all generalized answers. Everyone is observing. Everyone is doing things. Make possible things, digitalize. Okay. Is digitalization is the only option? Many others have changed from digital marketing to really offline marketing, and they are earning. Even big businesses like Best Price, Walmart, D-Mart, they all have started doing physical business, just operating through online. You can order online, but delivery is physical. So partially digital, partially physical. Think positive is very, very generalized, Sheetal. So post-traumatic growth, you really need to introspect. You really need to think. It's not so easy. I'm telling you again. What can I do to make the change work for me? It's a big question, and that question really needs to be addressed to yourself, not to others. So it's a question for you yourself. So you can note down these questions, and if you really want to take home some learnings out of this small session, you note down these questions so that you can really ask yourself and then nurture your business, how to come out of this post-traumatic growth, asking for what can I do to make the change work for me. So here we come up with the Kubler-Ross change curve, because a lot of changes are happening. And this Kubler-Ross change curve is really very, very practical, very, very understanding. It makes us understand the real situation. On one side, we have the moral and the competence, and on the other side is the time which is moving on. So initially, we were in a shock. We were surprised and shocked at the event of coronavirus started happening in India. Then we had the state of denial, that no, this is not true. It will not happen to us. No, this is all wrong. Many people were denying the fact that corona is there in India, and they did not accept it. They did not initially accepted it, that yes, it can be there. It isn't true. That all was. But then when lockdown happened, frustration started. People started getting angry. What is this? Why the country needs to lock down? Our businesses are shut down. We are going into huge losses. And those losses, those lockdown situation, those economic and financial losses, and those families which had really corona positive cases went into a low mood, lack of energy, negative thinking, and that is what happened, the state of depression. It goes ups and downs. Then people inspired you. You attended something, you listened something to good, you saw something good, you read good books, you started experimenting about yourself. So initial engagement with the new situation, you started now to accept that yes, COVID-19 is there and I need to live with this coronavirus. I need to learn how to stay safe and still do my work with the coronavirus. And then you took a decision how to work in this new situation, feeling more positive, feeling more energized, feeling more and more happier, and doing the same business again, following the safety protocols and the SOPs released by the government. So you took a decision, and then you started integrating the things. The changes which were integrated, you renewed yourself, you become a new individual, you incorporated all these changes into your personality and your businesses, and then you change the entire situation. So the Kubler-Ross change curve makes us understand what happens when every new change is there. There's a state of shock, then denial, frustration, depression, experiment, decision, and then integration. So what do you need to do? The strategy to really understand change and make this process is create alignment, maximize your communication, spark motivation for yourself and your nears and dears, develop the capability, means develop more competence, and then share the knowledge with your team to really come out of this and then make flying colors. So give yourself the permission to feel all these emotions inside you. You have to feel these emotions. So give yourself permission to feel this change which is happening in you. Meditate, concentrate, focus, and all the emotions will really help you change the situation. You will have all these and many more emotions coming to you. So give yourself the permission to feel. So what will happen every time you say or hear, we have no choice? This is always coming up. Everyone says this. So what you have to do? You have to challenge yourself. You challenge yourself. Why we don't have any choice? What made us believe that we don't have choice? So let us think about it. So challenge yourself. That is the solution for we have no choice. Then the second question which comes to everyone's mind is it 100% true? Then what you have to do about it? Isn't there anything else or more I can do? So these types of solutions you have to come up with when you see or hear such type of questions, which are a very generalized question and everyone will ask you. Viktor E. Frankl. He was an Austrian neurologist and a psychiatrist. He has authored 39 books, and his bestseller book is Man's Search for Meaning. In his neurological sciences and in his psychiatrist with dealing with people, he made people believe, and he wrote in his book, Man's Search for Meaning, is that if you understand the real meaning of what is happening, then you can analyze then you can understand and take control of that situation, and then really cure the person. So a very renowned psychiatrist and a neurologist, Dr. Viktor E. Frankl, he has authored 39 books. What he said, everything can be taken from a man, but one thing, the last of the human freedoms, to choose one's attitude in any given set of circumstances and to choose one's own way. So attitude is our own choice in any set of circumstances, and how we move with those attitude is also our choice. So we need to understand the meanings, and that's what you can really order this book, Man's Search for Meaning. That was his bestseller. He has written 39 books, but Man's Search for Meaning was his bestseller. So we need to understand this person, a wonderful personality who was part of the Second World War as well, who witnessed Second World War, and then he wrote so many books based on his experiences. So we have to understand this VUCA versus VUCA, moving on from fragile to agile. VUCA was volatility, uncertainty, complexity, ambiguity, which was really fragile, which made us fragile. So from volatility, we need to move to a vision. We need to have a clear vision. We were volatile, now we will have a clear vision. There was a situation of uncertainty. We need to have developed a situation of understanding things, understanding situations, understanding people, understanding circumstances. The things were very complex. So many rules, so many SOPs, so many protocols. Now we need to be very, very clarity of thoughts, clarity of understanding, clarity of moving ahead. So complexity should be replaced with clarity. The situation of ambiguity, the thought process of ambiguity must come out, replaced with agility. So the new VUCA will be vision, understanding, clarity, agility, and that is what will make you agile. So this is how you move from VUCA to VUCA, fragile to agile. So build your action plan of action for change. And this is, you can, all of you can click this image and then prepare it on a spreadsheet, Excel, Microsoft Excel, and really design this. So you can click a picture. This is the action plan which I suggest based on my experience. What are your objectives, the list of goals, what tasks, what you need to do to achieve those goals, what will be your success criteria, I mean, how will you identify that whether you are successful or not, then the time frame by when you need to complete the task, the resources, what or who can help you to complete the task. So there are many things which has to be written over here. So I'll give you 2-3 seconds really to click the picture so that you can really build your action plan. This can be the take home learning from today's this biz talk, that you can really prepare your own action plan for change ahead. I think it's done. So next is the government initiatives so far. Government has announced financial packages for all sectors of the society, maybe agriculture sector, manufacturing sector, service industry, traders, MSME. There is a lot of relaxation of compliance dates falling in the lockdown period, compliances of GST, income tax, ESI, PF, whatnot. There's announcement of moratorium period of 6 months for all type of advances by bank. So no NPA declaration in moratorium period. Interest rates were reduced twice, first by 0.75% and then 0.40%. And the repo rates were also reduced. But still the interest burden is there, though it has been reduced by 1.15% in totality. Stimulus package and funds allocated to NABARD, SIDBI and National Housing Bank. Direct benefit transfer schemes like for the BPL during lockdown period for 6 months, like the migrant laborers and the BPL people, they were getting cash money in their accounts through that, all those Jan Dhan accounts. They were receiving cash of 1,500 per month as the announcement was made. More funds were allocated into the banking system and the state allocations were increased to increase the liquidity in the market. The schemes already launched or shall be launched as it's under working for various sectors like MSME, etc. Few announcements have already come, and I am expecting a lot more to come. Loans at subsidized rates for street hawkers, farmers, and small traders as well, covered under the Mudra loan scheme. And the new fundings which have been given to all the MSME sector loan at a very low rate of interest based on the criteria that as on 29th February, whatever was outstanding in your loan account, 20% of that they are immediately sanctioning. All the banks are sanctioning by way of a one-page application. And if your outstanding was 10 lakh as on 29th February, you get an additional credit of 2 lakhs for 4 years, out of which 1 year is the moratorium period where you only need to pay the interest, no need to pay the principal, and the balance in rest of the 3 years, 36 monthly installment, you can repay this initial boosted working capital requirement of yours because your business was at a standstill, and it is at a very low rate of interest. Bank of Baroda is giving it at 6.85%. State Bank of India is giving it at 7.05%. None of the banks have charged more than 7.25% for this loan. And this loan, additional funding of 20% of the initial outstanding is being guaranteed by the Government of India. Government of India is giving guarantee for you guys for this loan. So they have to give it to all the people. So how to nurture business? These are my few tips. Train and talk to your employees for reduction in employee cost and perks if you can do that. Enhance customer service experience. Liquidity owners shall be the winner. Stop selling. Start providing solution to challenges being faced. Customize. Shred the fats of your business. That is cut unnecessary cost. Work from home is effective now. So why do we need huge offices and buildings or spaces? Because people have started working from home. So you need to think about this. So why working only in our working hours? Anybody can be given a project and he can do it in a assignment of 3 days or 4 days. Anytime he can work. So work can be assignment based and from any location mostly. Mentoring and reverse mentoring. Mentoring we do for our colleagues, for our juniors. Reverse mentoring is also a new process which should come up because a lot of digitalization is there. So we need to make our seniors and our senior citizens understand how to use it and how to really operate these digital skills. So that is called as reverse mentoring. Financial and budgeting disciplines we need to follow. Incomes to be planned as active and passive income. A lot of innovation needs to be done. Discipline must be followed in social media platforms and news channels and news because a lot of rumors are happening. Change your work environment to be more creative, to be more positive. Manufacturing bases may shift from China and there may be a lot of contract manufacturing opportunities coming up in India. Just today in the newspaper, it was there that Apple may be shifting its entire manufacturing base from China to India. And that is what is in the process. They have already applied to the government of India for those relaxations, and maybe government of India will bag Apple in India. So Apple will be manufactured in India maybe in future. Acceleration in digital economy. Extra burden on business will be the COVID-19 safety protocol expenses, which we need to follow in all businesses. Control expenditure by consumers. Consumers will not be spending on luxuries in the next few months. So people dealing in luxury items need to take extra care. We need to segregate good cost and bad cost. Good cost are digitization cost, technology cost, digital marketing, best employee, etc. Bad costs are fancy offices, unnecessary spending, bad performance, traditional working methods. We need to concentrate on our core business, the core complex area of your business. That's the core competence area. Small and medium enterprise take out the surplus and purchase personal assets instead of reinvesting in business, which I am looking at a lot of balance sheets because I am a chartered accountant. And that is why they face liquidity crunch in the business. They face working capital shortage in the business. So we need to maintain reserves in the future so as to cover our expenses, because there's a good chance of reoccurrence of the virus, and which could see a possibility of regular lockdowns or maybe lockdown once a month for 7 days or something like that. So be future ready, my friends, be future ready. Transform your human capital into human assets, which is the best workforce available to us, the human capital. So we need to transform them into human assets. And then we need to learn the digital marketing, which I term as digital lipstick. What is digital lipstick? It is digital marketing. It measures agile, sustainable, and you need to implement measures which are agile, sustainable, and scalable. Systematize your business wherever possible. Leverage data for sales, improving efficiency and financial analysis. Discipline in using the systems which you have once adopted, so follow them rigorously. Make technology as a priority. Play to industry standards, innovation, and improvisation. Technology has to be used as a priority, and industry standards need to be followed. Like LinkedIn, it is also a social media platform, but because there's not much fun over there like what we do in Facebook and WhatsApp, and that's why many people are not on LinkedIn. So LinkedIn is purely a business development forum, a human resources development forum. So we can advertise and use LinkedIn as, just I'm giving an example, so you can use them also. And so no matter what you are going through, it is a great opportunity to come out of it better. So this is a great opportunity to reset and reboot your life. And this is the last video before I close down my presentation for the question answer. This is termed as innovation, not isolation.
हेलो
हेलो मैम मैं सैमसंग से अमित बात कर रहा हूँ।
जी अमित।
आपने टीवी की कंप्लेन करवाई है?
हाँ, क्या आप 7 बजे के पहले आ सकते हैं?
जी बिल्कुल।
आसमान तेरे संग तू उड़ चला, इन कल कल करती नदियों सा तू बह चला, बह चला, बह चला। मुश्किलें राहों में जो भर के उनको बाहों में तू चल चला, चल चला। जहाँ आँखें तेरी राह ताके खिड़कियों से पल पल झांके कि तू रोशनी संग लाएगा।
थोड़ा फंस गया हूँ, बस आ ही रहा हूँ।
लगता है चन्नू की भेड़ों ने फिर ट्रैफिक जाम कर दिया है। जल्दी आइएगा।
बह चला, बह चला, बह चला, बह चला।
अमित,
जी
आइए। टीवी अंदर है। टाइम पे ठीक तो हो जाएगा ना?
जी मैम।
हो गया?
बस मैम।
हाँ, अब ठीक है। चलो जल्दी चलो, शो शुरू होने वाला है। जल्दी आराम से। अमित जी, रिमोट।
जी।
वेलकम बैक टू जूनियर इंडियन आइकन। और आज की पहली कंटेस्टेंट है हम सबकी चहेती प्रेरणा।
तेरे बिन नहीं लगता दिल मेरा ढोलना, तेरे बिन नहीं लगता दिल मेरा ढोलना।
हमारे हॉस्टल की है और पता है मेरी बेस्ट फ्रेंड भी।
रिश्ते निभाने के लिए कभी कभी थोड़ा दूर जाना पड़ता है। इसीलिए सैमसंग सर्विस वैन्स जाती हैं देश के कोने कोने तक।
That is what Samsung did in his advertisement, that we have to go beyond something. We have to do things differently to really nurture our relationships, and that is why I titled it as innovation, not isolation. So this is what is about being from fragile to agile. Thank you very much, JCI Vishakha Valley, JCI Vishakha Metro, JCI Vishakha Valiant, and thank you very much Sindura and all other presidents, Venkat and Akula, and Zone President Rajita, IPZP Jyoti Sridhar. Thank you very much for the opportunity, and over to you, President.
Thank you so much, sir.
Screen.
It was really wonderful session. Thank you so much. Now it's time for question and answer session. Any questions, please? Any questions or like any feedback regarding today's session? You want us to unmute?
మేడం లాక్ చేసాము, ఎవరిని హ్యాండ్ రైజ్ చేయమంటే మాట్లాడే వాళ్ళని మనం వాళ్ళ అప్పుడు అన్మ్యూట్ చేద్దాం. లేదా అందరికి ఇచ్చేయమంటే ఇచ్చేస్తాను, అందరికి ఇచ్చేయమంటే ఇచ్చేస్తాను.
సార్ అయితే ఒక ఇవ్వండి, ఒకవేళ మరి డిస్టర్బెన్స్
ఓకే ఓకే
ఇవ్వండి సార్.
ఓకే మేడం, ఓకే మేడం.
థ్యాంక్ యూ.
ఓకే డన్. ఎవరికాళ్ళు అన్మ్యూట్ చేసుకుని మాట్లాడొచ్చు. యా, అన్మ్యూట్ యువర్ సెల్ఫ్. సార్ యోగేష్ జీ, unmute yourself. Yes,
yeah,
yes.
You can ask questions or you can just type in the chat box. We can have a look out there also if you have any questions.
Sindhura madam, unmute yourself.
Hello.
Yes.
Any questions? Or otherwise, you can give your feedback about today's session also. Sheetal ma'am.
Yeah, hi Sindhura.
Hi ma'am, please can you share your today's experience regarding session, please?
Yeah, so the session was too good, appreciable. I have a small question, sir. Yeah. As you asked in the training, what choice can I make that can change the situation? Can I get an answer for that, sir?
No, see, this is purely subjective matter. I cannot give a generalized answer. That's why I asked this question, and I gave you this question that you can note down and ask yourself when you go back home. Because it is purely subjective. Because it depends on what changes or what challenges you are facing, then what change you can make. I cannot visualize your challenges. I cannot visualize what is going wrong with you, or what you are facing challenges in your business or in your family or with your kids or with your spouse. So it's a purely personal and what I can say is subjective matter. So this is really a deep introspection of yourself. You need to do it on your own. And that is what this lockdown has helped us. We have meditated and went inside ourselves.
Thank you, sir.
Anyone want to share?
There's something. Is it the right time to start a new business or venture? Dilesh ji, it's totally based on what kind of business you want to start. Traditional way of doing business is already there. People are already established. So I would not advise doing the same thing in the same manner, in the same way, with the same product. So if you have something innovative, it is the right time to start the business, because necessity is the mother of all inventions. But if you are doing something the same way others are doing, I am doubting whether people will really come to your business. So it all depends on your choice, what kind of business you want to start.
Thank you, sir.
Do we get loan without pawning any property? Pawning means you want talking about mortgage.